In this lecture, we are going to talk about sweat glands, blood supply and nerve supply of the skin, thin and thick skin, and the difference between both of them, functions of the skin, and lastly, the effect of aging on the histological structure of the skin. Sweat glands are present in the skin in deep dermis of the skin, present all over the body, except some sites devoid of sweat glands like lips, glans penis, and nail bed. They are more numerous in thick skin rather than thin skin. We have two types of sweat glands, eccrine, which is more common in human, and apocrine, which is less common in human. We're going now to talk about eccrine sweat glands. They are merocrine gland, and they are simple coiled tubular gland formed of two parts, the secretory part of the secretory unit, which is the acini, and the duct system. Secretory unit is formed of three types of cells: dark cell, clear cell, and myoepithelial cells. Regarding the dark cell, they are less common than the clear cell. They are in the shape of inverted pyramid, and they have dark nucleus and dark granules. By electron microscope, dark cells contain mitochondria, well-developed Golgi, and a lot of rough endoplasmic reticulum. They also contain secretory granules, which contain glycoprotein in nature. These cells secrete mucus-rich substances. The second type of cell in the secretory unit of the eccrine sweat gland is the clear cells. They are in the shape of pyramid with wide base and narrow apex. They do not contain secretory granules, but they are rich in glycogen. By electron microscope, clear cells contain basal involvement, which is the criteria of ion transporting cell. They also show intercellular canaliculi like this between the adjacent cell. They secrete watery electrolyte-rich substances. The third cell present in the secretory unit of eccrine sweat gland is the myoepithelial cell, which is present between the two types of cell, dark and clear cell, and the basement membrane. This cell, myoepithelial cell, rich in actin filaments, which help by their contraction in the secretion of the gland. Regarding the duct system of the eccrine sweat gland, it has two pathways. The first one in the dermis like this, and the second one in the epidermis here, and then the secretion delivered to the surface of the skin through the sweat pore. The dermal part of the duct system lined by stratified cubical epithelium, meaning it is formed of two layers of cubical epithelium, so that it is appear more or less dark by light microscope, and it also has a narrow lumen. The cells that lining the dermal part of the duct system of eccrine sweat gland reabsorb some electrolytes and also secrete others as urea and lactic acid. The epidermal part of the sweat gland, which is this, formed by the keratinocyte, which present in the epidermis. Again, as we said, we have two types of sweat glands present in the skin: eccrine sweat glands, which is more common in the human, and the apocrine sweat glands, which is less common. Apocrine sweat glands present in some areas in the human, like axilla, areola of the nipple, perianal region, and the pubic region. They are starting to function at the puberty under the hormonal control. Regarding the second type of sweat glands, apocrine sweat glands, they also has secretory part or secretory unit, which is the acini, and duct part or duct system. Regarding the secretory unit, they are coiled and lined by cuboidal secretory cell resting on a basal lamina, and they are contain myoepithelial cell present in between the cuboidal cell. They are innervated by autonomic nervous system. Regarding the duct system of apocrine sweat gland, they are coiled in its pathway and lined by two layers of cubical cell, and each opening it opens into the hair follicle like this here, superficial to the sebaceous gland, not like the eccrine sweat gland which open on the surface of the skin. Both eccrine and apocrine sweat gland secrete their secretion by exocytosis. Apocrine sweat gland produce viscous secretion. Actually, this secretion has no odor, but when the bacteria act on this secretion, it produces a distinctive odor. As we see here, both type of sweat gland. This is the eccrine sweat gland, which has secretory unit and duct system. The duct system, part of it in the dermis, dermal part, and the other part in the epidermis, and secretes its secretion on the surface of the skin. The second type is the apocrine sweat gland, which has secretory unit also, and the duct system, which open onto the hair follicle superficial to the opening of sebaceous gland, and secrete its secretion here on the surface. The function of sweat gland is thermoregulation, as when the water present in the sweat evaporates from the surface of the skin, it causes cooling effect to the skin. This is a table to compare between eccrine sweat gland and apocrine sweat glands, and this is the point of difference between both of them regarding site, mechanism of action, hormonal, which of them under the hormonal control, the structure of the secretory unit, the duct system, the site of opening, and the type of the secretion. I wish all of you try to do it by yourself from the previous slides. The blood supply of the skin formed of two plexuses, as we see here, one present superficially here, and the other one present deep here. Superficial network is present between the papillary and the reticular layers of the dermis, and it is called subpapillary plexus, as it is present under or beneath the papillary dermis. However, the deep network present between the dermis and hypodermis, and again hypodermis is not, as we said previously, it is not a part of the skin. It is called the cutaneous plexus, and it is the deep network. Superficial network supply the dermal papillae. However, the deep network supply the hair follicle, connective sheath surrounding the hair follicle and the hair papillae and glands, either sebaceous gland or sweat gland. Which of them responsible for the pink color of the skin? It is the superficial, of course, the superficial network. Regarding the nerve supply of the skin, it either dermal plexus present subpapillary, dermal plexus present below the epidermis, which gives rise either to the free nerve endings which terminate in the stratum granulosum, or the encapsulated give rise to the encapsulated sensory receptor. Like what? Please answer this question. The second type of nerve supply of the skin, which is autonomic nerve supply, it supplies blood vessels, muscles, which is erector pili muscles, and sweat glands. This is the subpapillary nerve plexus, which either give rise to the free nerve endings, which terminate in the stratum granulosum, or the encapsulated receptors like Cruz, like Pacinian, like Meissner, Iris Pacinian, or Meissner corpuscle. The two types of skin, thin and thick skin. Thick skin, as we all know, present only in the palm of the hand and sole of the foot. However, thin skin cover all the body except those both sides. Actually, the thickness of the thin skin varies according to its side. For example, skin over extensor is more thicker than the flexor. The thinnest part, the thinnest skin present in the body is the skin of the eyelid. However, the thickest present over the shoulder. Regarding the function of the skin has a lot of function. By its function as a barrier, it protects the body from the effect of the ultraviolet rays by the presence of melanin. Also, by its effect as a barrier, it represents a barrier against infection. It also regulates the body temperature, as we said, the sweat glands by its effect by lead to cooling of the skin. When the water in the sweat evaporate, it lead to cooling the surface of the skin. And also skin has a function, excretory function. As it excretes a various substances. Also, skin by its content of different types of receptors is responsible for the sensation of pain, temperature, and touch. Lastly, it also shares in the process of vitamin D synthesis. Unfortunately, skin greatly affected by the aging, macroscopically and microscopically. Macroscopically, there are conformational changes in the skin, like laxity of the skin, dryness, wrinkles, اللي هي التجاعيد, pigmentation, as we see here, as we see here, pigmentation, gray hair, of course, hair loss, thinned, rigid, lusterless nails. Regarding the microscopic effect of aging on the skin, there is thinning of the epidermis, flattening of the dermoepidermal junction, as we see here, flattening of the dermoepidermal junction and thinning of the epidermis. There also decrease in the collagen and the elastic fibers content and the decrease in the underlying fat, and this leading to the appearance of wrinkles or اللي هي التجاعيد. Therefore, a lot of women trying to use anti-aging cream which may contain collagen and elastic fibers, aiming to retard or to delay the process of aging on their skin. Again, the effect of aging, there also decrease the number of sweat glands, decrease the secretion of sebaceous gland, fewer hair follicles, decrease the number of Meissner corpuscle. Lastly, I wish these lectures of the skin beneficial for you and good luck for all you. Thank you.